if that's backwards or forwards too. Sorry, backwards. Okay, so today is chapter, I believe, 49? Something like that. Okay, so I am going to attempt to film a new chapter every day, or at least one book. I'll film one chapter per book per day, unless they're like 3 pages long. Then I will film 2. I will probably film 2 today, because it is not currently 8:30 at night like it was last time. It's only 6. So let's get to it. By the way, if you guys see this in a book and another bookmark, this is you guys, this bracelet that I have not finished, and the other bookmark is me personally. I finished this book 2 nights ago, so I don't really remember what happens that well, but so today is 49, chapter 49, Annabeth. Just gonna sit back, don't mind the mess. We were cleaning stuff, and I have homework crap all over the desk. I also don't know if you can hear the intro. I'm sorry if you can't. I'm figuring out how to work everything. My second video, so okay. Annabeth had reached her terror limit. She'd been assaulted by a chauvinist ghost. She'd broken her ankle. She'd been chased around a chasm by an army of ghosts. Of spiders. Now in severe pain, and with her ankle wrapped in boards and bubble wrap, and carrying no weapon except her dagger, she faced Arachne, a monstrous half spider who wanted to kill her and make a commemorative tapestry about it. Sorry, I gotta plug this in. Okay. In the last few hours, Annabeth had shivered, sweated, whimpered, and blinked back so many tears that her body simply gave up on being scared. Her mind said something like, okay, sorry, I can't be any more terrified than I already am. So instead, Annabeth started to think. The monstrous creature picked her way down from the top of the web-covered statue. She moved from strand to strand, hissing with pleasure. Her 4 eyes glittered in the dark. Either she was not hungry or she was slow. Annabeth hoped she was slow. Not that it mattered. Annabeth was in no condition to run, and she didn't like her chances in combat. Arachne probably weighed several hundred pounds. Those barbed legs were perfect for capturing and killing prey. Besides, Arachne probably had other horrible powers, a poisonous bite, or web-slinging abilities like an ancient Greek Spider-Man. No, combat was not the answer. That left trickery and brains. In the old legends, Arachne had gotten into trouble because of pride. She bragged about her tapestries being better than Athena's, which had led to Mount Olympus's first reality TV punishment program. So you think you can leave better than a goddess. Arachne had lost in a big way. Annabeth knew something about being prideful. It was her fatal flaw. She often had to remind herself that she couldn't do everything alone. She wasn't always the best person for every job. Sometimes she got tunnel vision and forgot about what other people needed, even Percy, and she could easily get distracted talking about her favorite projects. But could she use that weakness against the spider? Maybe if she stalled for time, though she wasn't sure how stalling would help. Her friends wouldn't be able to reach her, even if they knew where to go. The cavalry would not be coming. Still, stalling was better than dying. She tried to keep her expression calm, which wasn't easy with a broken ankle. She limped towards the nearest tapestry, a city of ancient Rome. Marvelous, she said. Tell me about this tapestry. Arachne's lips curled over her mandibles. Why do you care? You're about to die. Well, yes, Annabeth said, but the way you captured the light is amazing. Did you use real golden thread for the sunbeams? The weaving was stunning. Annabeth didn't have to pretend to be impressed. Arachne allowed herself a snug smile. A smug smile. No, child, not gold. I blend the colors, contrasting bright yellows with darker hues. That's what gives it a three-dimensional effect. Beautiful. Annabeth's mind split in two different levels, one carrying on the conversation, the other madly grasping for a scheme to survive. Nothing came to her. Arachne had been beaten only once by Athena herself, and that had taken godly magic, an incredible skill in a weaving contest. So, she said, did you see this scene yourself? Arachne hissed, her mouth foaming in a not very attractive way. You're trying to delay your death. It won't work. No, no, Annabeth insisted. It just seems a shame that these beautiful tapestries can't be seen by anyone. They belong in a museum. Or what? Arachne asked. A crazy idea sprang fully formed from Annabeth's mind, like her mom jumping out of Zeus's noggin. But she but could she make it work? Nothing, she sighed wistfully. It's a silly thought. Too bad. Um Arachne scuttled down the statue until she was perched atop the goddess's shield. Even from that distance, Annabeth could smell the spider stink, like an entire bakery full of pastries left to go bad for a month. What? The spider pressed. What silly thought? Annabeth had to force herself not to back away. Broken ankle or not, every nerve in her body pulsed with fear, telling her to get away from this huge spider hovering over her. Oh, it's just that I was put in charge of redesigning Mount Olympus, she said. After the Titan War. I've completed most of the work, but we need a lot of quality art. The throne room for the gods, for instance. I was thinking your work would be perfect to display there. The Olympians could finally see how talented you are. As I said, it was a silly thought. Arachne's hairy abdomen quivered. Her 4 eyes glimmered as if she had a separate thought behind each and was trying to weave them into a coherent web. You're redesigning Mount Olympus, she said. You're redesigning Mount Olympus, she said. My work in the throne room. Well, and other places too, Annabeth said. The main pavilion could use several of these. And one of the Greek landscapes, the Nine Muses would love that. That one with the Greek landscape, the Nine Muses would love that. And I'm sure the other gods would be fighting over your work as well. They'd compete to have your tapestries in their place. I guess aside from Athena, none of the gods have ever seen what you can do. Arachne snapped her mandibles. Hardly. In the old days, Athena tore up all my best work. My tapestries dep, dep, depta, depict, depict, and depicted, I'm stupid, depicted the gods in a rather unflattering way, you see. Your mother didn't appreciate that. Rather hypocritical. Rather hypocritical. Hypocritical, I'm sorry, Annabeth said, since the gods make fun of each other all the time. I think the trick would be to pit one god against another. For instance, Ares, for instance, would love a tapestry making fun of my mother. He's always resented Athena. Arachne's head tilted with an unnatural angle. You'd work against your own mother? I'm just telling you what Ares would like. Annabeth said. And Zeus would love something that made fun of Poseidon. Oh, I'm sure if the Olympians saw your work, they'd realize how amazing you are, and I'd have a broker to, a, and I'd have to broker a bidding war. As for working against my mother, why shouldn't I? She sent me here to die, didn't she? Last time I saw her in New York, she basically disowned me. Annabeth told her the story. She shared her bitterness and sorrow, and it must have sounded genuine. The spider did not pounce. This is Athena's nature, Arachne hissed. She cast aside even her own daughters. The goddess would never allow my tapestries to be shown in the palaces of the gods. She was always jealous of me. But imagine if you could get your revenge at long last. By killing you. By killing you? I suppose, Annabeth scratched her head, or by letting me be your agent. I could get your work onto Mount Olympus. I could arrange an exhibition for the other gods. By the time my mother found out, it would be too late. The Olympians would finally see that your work is better. Then you admit it, Arachne cried. A daughter of Athena admits I am better. Oh, this is sweet to my ears. But a lot of good it does you, Annabeth pointed out. If I die down here, you go on living in the dark. Gaia destroys the gods, and they never realize you were the better weaver. The spider hissed. Annabeth was afraid her mother might suddenly appear and curse her with some terrible affliction. The first lesson every child of Athena learned. Mom was the best at everything, and you should never, ever suggest otherwise. But nothing bad happened. Maybe Athena understood that Annabeth was only saying these things to save her life, or maybe Athena was in such bad shape, split between her Greek and Roman personalities, that she wasn't even paying attention. This I will not do, Arachne grumbled. I cannot allow it. Well, Annabeth shifted, trying to keep her weight off her throbbing ankle. A new crack appeared in the floor, and she hobbled back. Careful! Arachne snapped. The foundations of this shrine have been eaten away over the centuries. Annabeth's heartbeat faltered. Eaten away? You've no idea how much hatred boils beneath us, the spider says. The spiteful thoughts of so many monsters trying to reach the Athena Parthenos and destroy it. My webbing is the only thing holding this room together, girl. One false step and you'll fall all the way to Tartarus. And believe me, unlike the doors of death, this will be a one-way trip, a very hard fall. I will not have you die before you tell me your plan for my artwork. Annabeth's mouth tasted like rust. All the way to Tartarus? She tried to stay focused, but it wasn't easy as she listened to the floor creaking crack, spilling rubble into the void below. Right, the plan, Annabeth said. As I said, I'd love to take your tapestries to Olympus and hang them everywhere. You could rub your craftsmanship in Athena's nose for all eternity. But the only way I could do that, no, it's too difficult. You might as well go ahead and kill me. No! Arachne cried. This is unacceptable. It no longer brings me any pleasure in contemplate. I must have my work on Mount Olympus. What must I do? Annabeth shook her head. Sorry, I shouldn't have said anything. Just push me into Tartarus or something. I refuse. Don't be ridiculous. Kill me. I do not take orders from you. Tell me what I must do, or you'll kill me, or you'll kill me. Yes, no. Yes, no. The spider pressed her front legs against her head. I must show my work on Mount Olympus. Annabeth tried to contain her excitement. Her plan might actually work, but she still had to convince Arachne to do something impossible. She remembered some good advice Frank Zhang had given her. Keep it simple. I suppose I could pull a few strings, she concluded. I excel at pulling strings, said Arachne. I'm a spider. Yes, but to get your work shown on Mount Olympus, we need a proper audition. I have to pitch the idea, submit a proposal, and put a portfolio together. Do you have any headshots? Headshots? Glossy, black and white? Oh, never mind. The audition piece is the most important thing. These tapestries are excellent, but the gods would require something really special. Something that shows off your talent in the extreme. Arachne snarled. Are you suggesting that these are not my best works? Are you challenging me to a contest? Oh, no, Annabeth laughed. Against me? Gosh, no. You are much too good. It would only be a contest against yourself, to see if you really have what it takes to show your work on Mount Olympus. Of course I do. Well, I certainly think so, but the audition, it's a formality. I'm afraid it would be very difficult. Are you sure you don't just want to kill me? Stop saying that, Arachne screeched. What must I make? I'll show you. Annabeth unslung her backpack. She took out Daedalus' laptop and opened it. The Delta logo glowed in the dark. What is this? Arachne asked. Some sort of loom? In a way, Annabeth said. It's for weaving ideas. It holds a diagram of the artwork that you would build. Her fingers trembled on the keyboard. Arachne lowered herself to peer directly over Annabeth's shoulder. Annabeth couldn't help thinking how easily those needle-like teeth could sink into her neck. She opened her 3D imagining program. Her last design, still up, the key to Annabeth's plan, inspired by the most unlikely muse ever, Frank Jang. Annabeth did some quick calculations. She increased the dimensions of the model and showed Arachne how it could be created. Strands of material woven into strips, then braided into a long cylinder. The golden light from the screen illuminated the spider's face. You want me to make that? But that's nothing. It's so small and simple. Actually, the size would be much bigger. Annabeth cautioned. You see these measurements? Naturally, it must be large enough to impress the gods. It may look simple, but the structure has incredible properties. Your spider silk would be the perfect material, soft and flexible, yet hard as steel. I see, Arachne frowned. But this isn't even a tapestry. That's why it's a challenge. It's outside your comfort zone. A piece like this, an abstract sculpture, is what the gods are looking for. It would stand in the entry hall of the Olympian throne room for every visitor to see. It would be famous forever. Arachne made a discontent hum in her throat. Annabeth could tell she wasn't going for the idea. Her hands started to feel cold and sweaty. This would take a great deal of web, the spider complained, more than I could make in a year. Annabeth had been hoping for that. She calculated the mass and the size accordingly. You need to unravel the statue, she said. Reuse the silk. Okay. Arachne seemed about to object, but Annabeth waved at the Athena Parthenos like it was nothing. What's more important, covering that old statue or proving your artwork is the best? Of course, you'd have to be incredibly careful. You'd need to leave enough webbing to hold the room together. And if you think it's too difficult, I didn't say that. Okay, it's just Athena said that creating this braided structure would be impossible for any weaver, even her. So if you don't think you can, Athena said that? Well, yeah, ridiculous. I can do it. Great, but you'll need to start right away before the Olympians choose another artist for their installations. Arachne growled. If you're tricking me, girl, you'll have me right here as a hostage, Annabeth reminded her. It's not like I can go anywhere. Once this sculpture is complete, you'll agree that it is the most amazing piece you've ever done. If not, I will gladly die. Arachne hesitated. Her barbed legs were so close that she could have impaled Annabeth with a quick swipe. Fine, the spider said. One last challenge against myself. Arachne climbed her web and began to unravel the Athena Parthenos. So that was the end of chapter 49. I am actually, because that was short, I'm not going to read it in here, but I am actually going to go right now and upload next video. So I just got to film that and upload this. So bye. I'll see you in a couple minutes. Or it depends on how long you're watching. Anyway, bye.